Welcome to Kanshi TV. My program the host Savita Arya. The jidda thanu dasya ਆਪਾਂ ਨਏ guest ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਗੇ every episode ਵਿੱਚ. So welcome to Spudric Homeopathy Nature's Care. ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ special guest ਹੈਗੇ ਆ Jeremy Crowley, who is a well-experienced homeopath for nearly over 25 years now. As well as a homeopath, he is also a Bowen therapist, which is really interesting. And Nali na jidda thanu pata hai sade natural heart practitioner Vinod Kumar ji bhi hege naal. So welcome to both of you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to Kanshi TV. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. So Jeremy, I would like to start with yourself because you're a special guest today. So one question I would like to ask you first is, do you want to tell a bit about yourself, give an introduction to our viewers?
Yes, I'm a homeopath. I've been practicing now for a long time. I got introduced to homeopathy when I used to suffer from migraines. I went to see a homeopath, a local homeopath, and I knew he'd fixed somebody else's migraines, but I didn't actually know he was a homeopath. And I'd read a bit about homeopathy and how it used very diluted substances, and I knew enough about it to know it couldn't possibly work. And had it not been impolite, I would have walked out. But I thought, well, I'm here, I'll pay the money and try it.
No.
And when it worked, you know, it wasn't an instant thing, but I knew straight as soon as I started taking the remedies that something had changed.
Yeah.
And I just was so fascinated to know how this such diluted substance could work. I enrolled in a course to learn how to do, just to find out how it worked.
Wow.
But I was so fascinated by it, I ended up giving up a perfectly good job to be a homeopath.
That's amazing. So jidda Jeremy ne sanu dassya ki ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਹੋਮਿਓਪੈਥੀ ਚ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਆਇਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਮਾਈਗ੍ਰੇਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੋਮਿਓਪੈਥੀ ਅਪਰੋਚ ਕੀਤੀ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੀ so that's really amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Jeremy. Another question I would like to ask you is, why would you personally recommend homeopathy?
It's gentle. Some people say it's got no side effects. I would say that it doesn't have any permanent or harmful side effects. Sometimes you'll have like a cleansing reaction, maybe a runny nose, might go to the toilet a little bit more often, but that's your body doing something that's helping itself. You know, it's long term, it's going to be good for you, whereas you know some conventional medicines can have really horrible permanent side effects. So if you can possibly avoid those, I think it's always best.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that's the main thing actually, because jida sanu Jeremy ji ne dassya ki inna nu pehla fayda hoya,
ਹਾਂਜੀ
and then he made a career into the homeopathy, what you have achieved from treating your migraine, and then you made it actually homeopathy. Is a mostly this is a practical thing about the homeopathy.
Wow.
First you impressed yourself, and then you made it into the career, and then you start serving the people suffering. So yeah, it's a good amazing thing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, would you say homeopathy is safe?
Very safe, yes. Because the substance is so much diluted that it's like an instruction to your body how to fix itself. Works a little bit like a vaccination, only a lot more gentle than that. You give yourself something that can cause the symptoms in a big dose, and in a small dose it'll make your body fight against it and heal itself.
That's amazing.
And that was the actual reason of the founder.
Okay.
That minimized the side effect of the conventional medicines. And that time actually is too many side effects around that one, and he belongs to the conventional medicines. And then he actually founded homeopathy on the dilution basis to keep it minimum. Actually basically Jeremy is one of the very practical homeopath who actually not actually denying the side effect of the homeopathy as well as a mild. There is no side effect permanently, as he explained, but mostly homeopaths and quotations comes that there is no side effect. But it's a quite a very practical approach by the Jeremy. Yeah,
that's amazing. Jeremy, one thing I would like to know is, what's the actual difference between complex and classical homeopathy?
Okay, there are some homeopaths who believe that you should only give one single remedy at a time.
Yeah.
And they'll spend hours and hours talking to somebody, taking the full life history, which is important to do that.
Yeah.
But some homeopaths believe you just have to have the one exact remedy, and if you give a different remedy later, it'll spoil it. That's a bit impractical.
Yeah.
I think by mixing remedies occasionally, I sometimes give remedies in a sequence.
Okay.
Quite often, and that'll, the one remedy will prepare the way for the next. Or you can, if the remedies work well together, then you can give them all at the same time, and it'll work well.
Actually, that's why if you look at in our previous episode, we told about the classical homeopathy who use a single, and I was a little bit when I using the complex spajrik. Our brand and into bringing into the homeopathy field, Honda kisi ki sare homeopath mostly follow the classical homeopathy single remedy, and that's why I like about the people who are using the complex. And jada complex jada structure हैगा या वो हजारों साल पुराना है. जड़ा Ayurveda actually basically the herbalism using the a compound remedy thousands of years ago, and if you look at the before the Honeyman as well, and the Honeyman is the actually recreated history, and then he started using the single herbs, and there was actually the era where the single herbs is used as well, but mostly the Honeyman times it was a single compound remedy, and the complex remedy, if I am right. And then the Honeyman started the single remedy and classical way, and that's why this is the special thing about. If you look at many homeopaths, there are certain categories of the homeopaths, the practitioners. What they do is they probably some people actually, if I'm right, actually, Jamie, some people only homeopath only follow the classical, and that's the Honeyman theory.
Yeah, I kind of use both. Sometimes, sometimes I'll see somebody and they really fit a remedy down to a T. And if you see a remedy that fits that well,
very well,
you just give that single remedy.
Do you know what
sometimes
what
it
the
wonderfully.
Means? Is the fit means that it's actually when you see the client, and there are a lot of alignments together. And then there is a constitutional homeopathy, and then coming to choosing the single remedy picture, and when sometime complex is very handy actually for the homeopaths and the complex homeopaths. Why? Because what happened actually, there are a lot of symptoms physically appearance. To restore all the symptoms, all the body together, the complex medicines made by the several plants, है ना, कई जुड़ी बूटियां जदा आपां खाना बनाते हैं ना, आपां किचन विच कोई चीज़ बनाते हैं, दाल बनाते हैं या आपां मिक्स करके दाल बनाते हैं, ओदा टेस्ट कुछ अलग होता है ना. So that's why sometime in our Indian kitchen the mothers make a lot of cocktail lentils together. And some peoples and some mothers make a single lentils. So that's why I'm just telling the viewers that the complex picture is that you're mixing 2-3 lentils together. And there is a one single lentils dal जड़ी हैगी एक तरह दी दाल बनानी है कि दो मिक्स करके बनानी है. So स्वाद बखरा बखरा होता है ना, और उदा जड़ा असर है वो भी ज़्यादा बखरा होता है. So that's why it's a complex homeopathy and there is a classical homeopathy. So both have a different benefits.
Wow.
And the Jeremy actually do both.
Oh wow.
Actually, he is a wonderful knowledge into, and he is doing from last 25 years
in
Birmingham. And he has a lot of experience. He is doing the complex homeopathy and then as well as the classical homeopathy. Yes.
It's amazing. So Jeremy, just a bit about how homeopathy medicines are made. Would you like to touch on that?
Yes, they're made traditionally. You'll take a single drop of often a plant, not always a plant. Sometimes it can be a poisonous plant because the fact that it cures what it can cause it means that the poisonous ones often make the best remedies.
Yeah.
And then you'll dilute that usually with 100 parts of water or often alcohol for the first time, because the alcohol extracts the medicinal properties from the plant better. And then you give that a good shake, traditionally bash it against a book,
make it energetic,
and then you take a drop of that and then you put that in the same amount of water again. 100 times the amount of water. Do that 6 times will give you a 6C. I did actually make a remedy once.
Yeah.
I thought I intended to do a YouTube video, but I didn't get round to it. I thought it'd be good to see if people could make their own remedy with something very simple they had in the kitchen.
Interesting.
And of course most people haven't got like half a dozen little tiny bottles and the medicinal alcohol and all the rest of it. And I actually wanted to make I'd found we use coffee as a homeopathic remedy. Often for insomnia. It's a good example of homeopathy actually, because everyone knows coffee can keep you awake, but some people will find that a diluted weak coffee is actually quite relaxing.
Oh, really?
But if you take a strong espresso, a very short strong coffee, that wakes nearly everybody up.
Wow.
So with homeopaths will often use a very diluted coffee, diluted 1 in 100, 630, sometimes 200 times, to cure insomnia, a very specific kind of insomnia usually, where people are awake because they're excited about things. That's when coffee usually works. There's lots of different homeopathic insomnia remedies, not just coffee. But I actually had an idea of using coffee as a gout remedy, because coffee can also often cause a flare-up of people with gout, but it's also known that drinking regular coffee makes you less likely to have gout. So I thought, well, let's try that as a homeopathic remedy.
Interesting.
I tried it as a proper pharmacy remedy, and it kind of worked. So I thought, let's just try it, see if I can do a really simple way of doing it. So I got a bottle of water, one of these, and I made first of all a cup of coffee, and I weighed the coffee, the instant coffee, and made a strong one that was about 100 to 1, so that was a 1C. So then I put about a 100th in there.
Part of that,
Filled it to about there with water, gave it a good shake. Then tipped most of it away.
Interesting.
Left about 1% mixed in there. Topped it up again.
And then again
another bash.
Interesting.
Same again, another bash.
Wow.
Same again, another bash. Now, traditionally, you would do the last one with alcohol to preserve it.
Oh, okay.
But I thought you didn't really want to put that much alcohol in there. So it didn't have anything in to preserve it. But just for a day or two, especially if you keep it in the fridge, then you can take just the occasional sip of that.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Not a good idea if it's full of vodka.
Yeah.
But
you should make it a video, and then it will be more, viewer can understand more easily about this one. So I will just explain it into the viewers that actually ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਾਫੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, मैं ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਾਂ ਸਵਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿਊਅਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿ ਜਰਮਨ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥਿਕ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛਾ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਆ। ਹੋਮਿਓਪੈਥੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ 2 ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਯੂਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੋਣਾ, ਦੇਖੋ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਹਾਊਸ ਹੋਲਡ ਰੈਮੇਡੀ ਆ, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫਿਲਾਸਫੀ ਹੈ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਪੀਂਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨੀਂਦ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ 1-2 ਕੱਪ ਪੀਂਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ, 1-2 ਕੱਪ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਕਾਫੀ ਪੀਂਦੇ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਡਰਾਈਵਿੰਗ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਲੌਂਗ ਡਰਾਈਵਿੰਗ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਕਾਫੀ ਪੀਂਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਵੇਕ ਰਵੇ। ਸੋ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਡਾਇਲੂਟਿਡ ਪਾਰਟ, if you use the diluted part means ਕਿ ਉਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਾਇਰ ਡਾਇਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਲਈਏ ਕਾਫੀ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨੀਂਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨੀਂਦ ਤੋਂ ਸਟਰਗਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੈਂਟਲੀ ਰਿਲੈਕਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਸੋ ਟੂ ਮਚ ਯੂਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਬ੍ਰੇਨ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਡਾਇਲੂਟਿਡ ਪਾਰਟ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨੀਂਦ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥੀ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਸੀਪਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਕਾਫੀ ਦਾ। ਤਾਂ ਜਰਮੀ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ, what he's done is made actually a special medicine from the instant coffee, है ना।
Interesting.
और इस part of the gout actually, है ना, ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ medical, we don't diagnose as a medical, but people who GPs diagnose already gout, and ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਜਦ alternative medicines ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਜਨ they tried it, ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਦ ਉਹ ਦਵਾਈ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛਾ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟ ਆਇਆ। ਸੋ ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਇਹ ਨੈਚੁਰਲ ਲਾਅ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਿਚਨ ਤੱਕ ਪਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ। ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਸ਼ੇਕ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਕਸ਼ਨ, ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਆਈ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਟੈਲ ਦ ਵਿਊਅਰ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾ ਐਨਰਜੈਟਿਕ ਪਾਵਰਸ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਥਿਓਰੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਐਂਡ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਰਟ ਆਫ ਦ ਪਲਾਂਟ ਐਕਸਟ੍ਰੈਕਟ mixing into the certain ratio of the 99 part of the water or whatever the vehicle we can use, and then we mix together, and then the stoke is the very important. ਜਿਹੜੇ stoke ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਐਨਰਜੈਟਿਕ ਰੂਪ ਦੇਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ। And that's why my colleague is telling about demonstrating it.
Amazing.
It's amazing actually, and this is some homeopathy is a very natural law. Look at a universal law, put it into the theory, and we are talking about when we are coming over here discussing, and one thing is come up with I ask what is the special thing about the honeyman, and the German told very wonderful thing that is already there before the honeyman as well, but it's put it into the medical text. Is it right? And then it's a wonderful thing. Amazing. Actually
wonderful knowledge.
So the plant-based medicine is coming from the Aziz, actually ancient time, and how he actually put it into the medical text and made it the practical homeopathy using the natural laws.
Okay, it's very interesting.
Very interesting.
So Jeremy, people often want to know whether you can take homeopathy with conventional medicine. Can you take it?
Yes, it works very well together. In fact, a lot of the times I use it to help with the side effects of conventional medicine, and it'll often actually make conventional medicine work better.
Oh wow!
Wow, that's very good actually.
I used one of your spagyric remedies when I was working with people with people who were suffering from the side effects of chemotherapy. Sometimes they get a thing known as palmar plantar syndrome, which is really severe pains in their fingers and toes, and that remedy really worked very well for those.
It's very good.
Very good.
Actually, so it can be worked together. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਵਾਰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿਊਅਰ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ conventional medicines ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਲੈ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, they are taking from a long time, and sometimes they are confused, or sometimes they are double-minded that shall they go to try homeopathy, and sometimes they think it won't work together. It's a wonderful experience he's sharing with the viewers that it can, and it will be more beneficial. And one thing I like about this is कि conventional medicines भी बहुत अच्छा काम कर दिया फिर, है ना, कि इमोशनल साइड, क्योंकि ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਐਵੀਡੈਂਸ ਬੇਸਡ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੈਡੀਸਨ ਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਕਨਵੈਨਸ਼ਨਲ ਮੈਡੀਸਨ, ਉਹ ਦੈਟਸ ਓਨਲੀ ਪਰਟੀਕੂਲਰ ਸਪੈਸੀਫਿਕ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਐਜ਼ ਵੈਲ ਐਜ਼ ਸਿੰਪਟਮ, ਬਟ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਸਾਈਡ ਆ, ਮੈਂਟਲ ਸਾਈਡ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ। ਜੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਨਾਲ ਟੁਗੇਦਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਡ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਯੂ ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਬੂਸਟ ਅਪ ਮੋਰ. So it's a wonderful experience.
It's really interesting. So Jeremy, if I had to ask, what would your favourite remedy be? Have you got one?
Okay. Homeopathy, it's a bit like being a parent. We're not supposed to have a favourite remedy. But actually arnica is the best. Arnica, a lot of people have heard of arnica and don't even realise it's a homeopathic remedy. Wow. People who don't believe in that homeopathy know that arnica works. And I think everyone should carry it with them. I like, if somebody's got a serious injury, then a 30 or a 200C is probably best. But I actually like people to have a 6C arnica remedy. Because what I find with arnica 6C, if somebody hurts themselves, now if they take a 30C and it's just a small injury, it'll probably go away and think, oh, that didn't hurt much, it would have gone away anyway. But I find if they take a 6C, it works for half an hour. Then in half an hour's time, the pain comes back, and then they take another dose. The pain goes away again. Then half an hour later, it comes back again.
Interesting.
So then they know that the arnica is actually doing some good. So I quite like people to have the low potency one.
And it's coming in the cream as well now.
Oh, does it?
Spraying creams, and many companies are actually making these homeopathic arnica medicine into the cream as well. And you can use for a minor sprain or something like that. It's available in many pharmacies. So yes, it's a very interesting, and arnica is one of the my favorite too. And this is हमारे जो साडे को arnica जैसे यूज़ कर दिया तो ओदा जे तुसी उस plant दा जड़ा benefit देखोगे तुसी बहुत deeply देखोगे. It's a very deep effect of that particular plant. So most of the homeopaths like arnica.
Interesting. Wow. So Jeremy, what other therapies can work with homeopathy? Just like I said in the introduction, you've also done Bowen therapy. Yes.
That was another therapy that I kind of came across by accident. Literally by accident. Somebody ran into the back of my car, and myself and my partner both had a bit of whiplash injury and sore necks, and of course I took some arnica and a bit of rust off, and I was okay, not too bad at all. But my partner was suffering a bit, and she went to see a very experienced chiropractor and saw him 3 times, and I spoke to a friend of mine, and he said, oh, you should have come to see me, I'm doing Bowen therapy. And I must admit, I thought, oh no, not another therapy I've never heard of, because there are a lot of alternative therapies out there, and I'm kind of a bit of a nuts and bolts man myself, really, and I kind of thought, oh, not another one, you know. But I agreed to go and have a treatment, and it certainly helped me. And my partner at the time, she it did her more good than 3 treatments from the chiropractor. But the interesting thing is, chiropractors do kind of a 4-year full-time course. They're extreme, and this guy was very experienced. My friend who did the Bowen technique, he'd just done the 4-day introductory course. That's all he'd done. And from that 4-day course, he did a wonderful job. So I just had to get on the next course I could get on, and
that's the plus point of him. He's always learned new things and bringing into the practice, and that's why he just Bowen therapy is just in, and he told me about that one, and he's one of the best one. That's really interesting. So, he's actually it goes very well with the homeopathy. It does, yes. With the Bowen technique, it's actually very gentle. And you do, it's like massage is good, but they kind of go non-stop. Whereas the Bowen technique, you do a bit, and then you typically leave them for a minute or 2. Go away, come back. Often you actually you're advised to kind of leave the room so they can really relax, because they're not thinking anyone's watching them, you know. They can really relax. Then you go back and do a bit more. Of course, in that time, I can be craftily reading my homeopathic books and making sure I've got the right remedy. Which remedy? Making up the remedy. Cover the picture, and it gives me time to think while being quiet. But it so the two, from a very practical point of view, worked well together. And they're both very gentle, both work very well. For example, if somebody coming for Bowen technique, what another मतलब ये है कि जब उन्होंने a deep massage कर दिया, and ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ internally homeopathy herbs उन्होंने internal support कर दिया. So external is kind of massage, but in a different technique. और फिर ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ internal homeopathic ਜਿਹੜੀ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ और ज़्यादा supportive treatment हो जाता है. So yes. So मैं भी इन्हां तो सीखा, और वो जड़ी some technique I told that just I can learn that one, and mixed with the spurgeric too.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
Many times we have spoken discussing over this one. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So Jeremy, what kind of conditions can he help with in homeopathy then?
Almost anything, because the thing with homeopathy is it improves people's general health, and if you improve their health, then almost everything gets better.
Yes.
Okay.
So you may not be able to actually cure everything.
Yes.
But you can certainly make most of the problems go away. But in a lot of cases you can cure things.
Yeah. In some ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਦਵਾਈ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੀ ਉਮਰ ਖਾਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ. Basically, if you look at every medical science has their own benefits. Okay. If you look at the conventional medicines, है ना, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ process ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ belief ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ different ਆ, है ना. और ਜਿਹੜੀ homeopaths, they are different. Okay. They are not actually interfering each other.
Okay.
But as Jeremy said, it can be making a bridge between both.
Yeah.
Okay. And it can be helpful because medical science and doctors ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਰਜ਼ ਆ ਨਾ, ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ aim ਆ, is serving the suffering soul. Okay. Any science is the ultimate goal is to suffering soul.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, ਜਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਦਵਾਈ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਆ, है ना, you have to be conventional medicines for whole life.
Okay.
And A to Z any problem apart from some acute problem or there is some life-threatening disease, you should very careful about that. ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਊਅਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਾਰ-ਬਾਰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਾ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇੱਕ ਦਵਾਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਉਮਰ ਖਾਣੀ ਆ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਛਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥਿਕ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਸੋਲਵ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਆ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਹੈਲਪ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦੀ ਆ, ਤਾਂ why not is a wonderful things to add in your life to take a benefit of the nature.
Wow.
So homeopathic, and I know that sometime some people ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਨਵੈਨਸ਼ਨਲ ਮੈਡੀਸਨ ਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਦੂਜੀ ਹੋਮਪੈਥੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਅਸਰ ਆਊਗਾ. ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਹੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ੰਸਾ ਨਾ ਕਰੀਏ, ਅਸੀਂ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰੀਏ ਵਿਦ ਦ ਐਕਸਪਰਟਸ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ we will actually the main motto of this program is not to benefit ourselves, to give a knowledge, share the plus point of the benefit of the homeopathy, and then we will just share each other. And some things are very good into the conventional medicines where ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਰਜਰੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ conventional medicine ਦੀ ਨੀਡ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਉਹਦੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਔਰ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥਿਕ ਨੂੰ ਨਾਲ ਐਡ ਕਰਕੇ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਆਫ ਵਿਊ ਹੈਗਾ, I think personally is this ਕਿ it double the impact.
Yes.
Okay. Of your whatever your alignment is. And sometime ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਨਾਲ ਸਫਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ ਕਿ you are very depressed, okay, and you are emotionally very negative sometime, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਔਰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਤੁਸੀਂ GP ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਪਰ GP ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਕੋਈ ਦਵਾਈ ਰਿਕਮੈਂਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ, ਪਰ ਤਦ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥਿਕ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲੀ है ना काउंसलिंग करदा, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ, ਔਰ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਬੂਸਟ ਅਪ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ એનર્ਜੀ ਨੂੰ, ਵਾਈਟਲ ਫੋਰਸ ਪ੍ਰਾਣ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ. ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਅਮੇਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਐਸਪੈਕਟ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ.
ਦੈਟਸ ਅਮੇਜ਼ਿੰਗ. ਕਿੰਨੀ ਅੱਛੀ ਗੱਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਵਿਨੋਦ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਕਹੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੇਨ ਟਾਰਗੇਟ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਮਰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਵਾਈਜ਼, ਮੇਨ ਟਾਰਗੇਟ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਦੇਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਅਵੇਅਰ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਤਸਵੀਰ ਦੇ ਦੋ ਰੁਖ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, है ना. ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਤਰਫ ਦਾ ਪਕਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰੀਏ ਐਂਡ ਲੁੱਕ ਐਟ ਦੈਟ ਵਟ ਕਾਂਸ਼ੀ ਟੀਵੀ ਮੇਡ ਅ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਅੱਛੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਔਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੰਨੇ ਫੋਨ ਆਏ, ਇੰਨੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਕ ਕੀਤਾ, ਸੋ ਇਟਸ ਕੁਆਇਟ ਗੁੱਡ.
Yeah, so Jeremy, quick question what people want to know is when you see a patient, what is a patient meant to expect from you as a homeopath?
Okay, the main thing is you shouldn't expect things to change too quickly.
Okay.
You know, it's usually taking you a long time to get ill.
Yeah.
It'll often take a long time to get better as well.
Of course,
definitely. you know, occasionally people get back better really quickly, and then they'll tell somebody else, "Oh, I got better in a week," and then the people they come, they expect to get better in a week too, and I have to warn them that it may take longer, because you know, it's a slow process. And okay, we were talking earlier, some homeopaths all say, oh, you should just find one remedy that fix it. Doesn't usually work that way. You find a remedy that starts the cure, and then you'll often have to change to a different remedy.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe if you give them 25 at once, it might fix it all at once. But with my way, it usually takes quite a long time to get people, and
that's a very good point, actually.
Yeah, and it can be a bit of an up and down route as well. Now,
you can't expect overnight results.
Of course.
No,
anything can't fix you overnight. Okay, so this is a very good point.
In fact, I often tell my patients, when you know, people like to be told, take this remedy 4 times a day or 3 times a day. I'll often tell them to take the remedy is if they want to get better as slowly as possible.
Yes.
We all want to get better as quickly as possible, but it's if you take it too, you know, if you feel a little bit better and you think, oh, I'll take it twice as often, I feel even better still. You can get a bit of a roller coaster ride sometimes. You always get good days and bad days, but sometimes it can be a bit extreme, and you feel great and then you kind of crash. You know, if someone's low on energy and then you give them a whole load of energy, they'll go out and use that energy to dig themselves a bigger hole.
We are telling about in the last episode.
Exactly.
कि कईयां दी रूह जड़ी हुंदी है, कईयां दी जड़ी अंदर दी शक्ति हुंदी है, जिन्हों आपां कहंदे हैं ना, वो लो हुंदी है, और कईयां दी बड़ी स्ट्रॉन्ग हुंदी है ना, कईयां दी वीक हुंदी है। तां कई बार असीं किसी नूं दवाई दिंदे हां ते उहनूं बहुत जल्दी असर आ जांदा, फिर वो सारिਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦਾ जा के, है ना, कि मैं बहुत जल्दी ठीक होया, है ना, मैनूं बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्प होई। लेकिन जब उन्होंने आप कई बार वीक हुंदा कोई, तो उन्होंने टाइम लगता, तो वो सोचता है कि मैनू कदे नहीं इन्नी जल्दी आराम आया, है ना। दैट्स द वेरी गुड पॉइंट एक्चुअली जो मैं टोल्ड, है ना, कि दैट्स द रीज़न, बिकॉज योर वाइटल फोर्स, योर प्राण शक्ति, योर प्राणा is weaker, and that's why it took time to get results. And some people are very strong. Okay, and it's a wonderful actually, so that's why the homeopathic is a many ways to approach.
Yeah, definitely. So Jeremy, like, what kind of questions do you ask the patient then?
All sorts of questions.
Really?
Sometimes the questions might seem a bit strange, because you start obviously asking standard questions, and then
set of questions,
they'll people tell you a few remedies which will kind of tell you a few answers that'll point you to a particular remedy. And certain remedies have things we call keynotes, and it's kind of strange. You know, in the homeopathic books, there are all sorts of characteristics listed along with symptoms. So, for instance, there's a particular homeopathic remedy which is known to work very well for people who are tall and slim, and if they're not Asian, blonde hair and blue eyes. You know. Now, you wouldn't necessarily want to cure that, but it just kind of lists that as a characteristic of the people that remedy will fit. So, you know, and there are other remedies that may be good for people who love thunder and lightning. There's a remedy that seems to work well with
repertory is a very big data actually. Homeopathy.
So if you know, if somebody, if you think, oh, will that remedy fit that person, you might say, oh, how are you with thunder and lightning? And they say, oh, I'm not frightened of that, I love it. And you think, great, that probably means that's the remedy for them. So sometimes the questions we ask can seem a bit strange.
I take opportunity here to tell in our own language to our audience that it means कि plant दा एक character हुंदा है, है ना, एक स्वभाव हुंदा है, है ना ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਪਲਾਂਟ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੁਭਾਅ ਆ ਉਹ ਪਰਸਨਸ ਦੇ ਸੁਭਾਅ ਨਾਲ ਜਦ ਮੈਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਆਇਆ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਹਿਡਨ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਠੀਕ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਿਕਚਰ ਆਫ ਦੀ ਹੋਲ ਪਲਾਂਟ ਫਿਟ ਇਨਟੂ ਦ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਟਸ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਐਂਡ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਮੈਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ।
So Vinod, if I ask you a question, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਮਿਲੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ? How did you both meet?
Oh, that's a very interesting question actually. And as I said to you that it's a wonderful actually opportunity to meet such a great personality in homeopathy, and he's based in Birmingham. And we as I said कि ਅਸੀਂ अपना एक research work कर रहे सी, and we are just promoting our complex homeopathy side. And as ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥੀ ਦੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸਾਈਡਸ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਫੋਕਸ ਸਿਰਫ ਪਲਾਂਟ ਬੇਸਡ ਮੈਡੀਸਨ ਸੀਗਾ ਹੋਮੋਪੈਥੀ ਵਿੱਚ, ਔਰ ਐਨੀਮਲ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਵੀ ਆ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਇਜ਼ ਮੋਰ ਫੋਲੋਇੰਗ ਦ ਵੈਜੀਟੇਰੀਅਨ ਸਾਈਡ, ਸੋ ਦੈਟਸ ਵਾਈ ਦ come up with the idea. And then Jeremy met, and he actually wonderful personality as well as the good human being. ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ बहुत अच्छा support किया, and he's always supported me, and he come, and even though in fact he liked the actually when I told him that I renamed it as a spiritual therapy, and he liked it, and he's first person said yes, you have done the right thing. And I think rest the Jami will tell what about what is experience with me and Spajri.
Yes, Vinod rang me, and he was obviously really believed in his system, because he offered to send me a free remedy. I think you asked me to name a disease and you'd send me a remedy to try, or maybe you said I've got a good remedy, or did you just say I've got a good remedy that suits me?
Yes. I was actually asking you that which type of alignments you are most looking into your practice, and I will send you the spajric made especially for those alignment.
Yes, and
you named it, and you said send those, so I sent you few.
Yes, and you know that shows faith in your business when you're prepared to
my passion
to do that. And it's
and
he experienced it, and it's a wonderful result. Earlier he
was mentioning about you got good results.
Yes, good results. Certainly with that chemotherapy side effect.
And that time when hunda hai ki when we have this type of bringing it from the Germany, and no one is doing here, है ना, कोई करदा नहीं सीगा, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਜਦ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੁਲੀਗ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਆ ਔਰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਤਾਂ ਇਟਸ ਕੁਆਇਟ ਅਮੇਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟ, ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਵਿਲ ਟੇਕ opportunity here to thank you as well on the TV so that you have given me all the support and believe in me as well as in my system. It's a great thing actually, and we are just now I think it's a 10 year almost, more than 10-12 years. We know each other, and slowly so we have discussed now to give a little bit education on that, and he will come over and start giving me some tips too, and teaching few things.
It's always good to share knowledge, isn't it?
That's amazing.
Or we can all learn from
each other.
Is
in our saying, एक साड़ी पंजाबी ਵਿੱਚ saying भी ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ अपना ज्ञान किसी दे नाल वंडदे आ ते थोड़ा वो डबल हो जाता है ना. What I'm saying is, Jamie, that in our Indian saying there is a one saying is that if you actually share the knowledge, it will increase.
Very true. Very true.
So it increase. So it's happened to me as well as to my colleagues. So so spajric, even though if I ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਈ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੱਸਿਆ, I'm just telling about things about the spudgery. Is a base actually is a powerful manufacturing process.
Okay.
Okay.
Hanji.
And is a different from the homeopathy manufacturing process. Actually, there's a quick way to mother tincture, to get the mother tincture.
Hanji.
But if you look at the specific tincture, is a essence is actually unlocking the hidden energy of the plant.
Oh, okay.
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਹਨਾ, ਐਂਡ ਇਟਸ ਸੇਮ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਸੀਪਲ
Yeah.
ਬਟ ਇਨ ਅ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਵੇ. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਲਈਏ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਜੇ ਅਲਟੀਮੇਟ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਗੋਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ, ਜਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਪਲੇਸ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕਈ ਰਾਹ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. So using the homeopathic principle in a different way, the spudgeric is all about. And spudgeric is using the law of similar in a different way, and as many homeopaths knows already. But spudgeric is believing that the whatever element is lackness of the element in the body, or salt is lack, is giving that similar from the plant made medicine, and fulfilling that and restore the body. Okay. And the dilutions means there is a 1 to 99, which is centimal, and in spudgeric only decimals, which is 1 into the 9, and is up to D12. So ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ law of similar ਹੈਗਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਏਸ਼ੀਅੰਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਪਜਰਿਕ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਏਸ਼ੀਅੰਟ ਫਿਲਾਸਫੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਿਮਿਲਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਸਿਮਿਲਰ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ increase and opposite quality decrease. It means the law of similar, which means that ki if you have a similar problem, it can, if you take it for example, je tusi thode body type garam a aur tusi garam khana khande a hai na, for example ginger, and your body nature is hot, hai na, and if you take the ginger it will increase. Okay, but if you do it opposite side, decrease, diluted side, it will actually treating your hotness. So that's the unique part of the law of similar in spudgeric, and basically based on the entirely plant-based medicines. As I said, in homeopathic is coming from the plant as well as animal, and then there is a lot of deeper. So that's why I enjoy this one, that I thought कि आप spudgeric नु share करिए, and is a very quite good follower now, है ना. एक blessing हैगी है कि ये मेरे तो start होके आप start किता ते नु blessing मिली था आप आगे लेके गए. It's my wonderful actually opportunity.
It's really interesting. So Jeremy, would you like to touch on how homeopathy works then?
Yes. Again.
Okay. So we've gone into the theory of how like cures like, and how certain remedies fit certain personalities. The bit that's always a puzzle is how such a diluted amount. Sometimes we can dilute, 1 in 100, 1,000 tons, which sounds crazy, and I can understand people making jokes. People make jokes about it, and
some people say it's water.
And I really can't explain how that works. I started studying it to try and find that out, and to be honest, I still don't know how it works. I know how to make it work, but I can't explain how diluting something 1 drop in 100 1,000 times. If you do I won't go into the maths now, but it's just crazy.
Sometime I have a discussion with the medical people who say this is a water. But sometimes I come up with the idea that for example, if you look at the spudgeric, or if you look at some homeopathy, which is actually until the 24x, or there is something medicinal.
You may have a molecule in there.
And there is a data that until the 24x is still diluted, that's treating a lot of alignment. But unfortunately, the medical faculty or the critics of the homeopathy don't actually look at that side.
Yeah,
but they always look at into the higher side.
But they'll also say, but it contains poisonous things, so you shouldn't take it. It might do you harm. It can't possibly do you any good, but it might do you some harm. You know, there's no logic in that.
But if you look at the diluted part, and sometime if you look at the spiritual side of the power of the water, it's a water actually is a very holy thing. And if you look at, and that's why, but it doesn't, I personally don't say that ki is not actually wrong. They have their own philosophy, and the homeopathy has their own philosophy, but it should not be mixed together and look at argument each other. There are certain research I have seen in homeopathic that some university and some professional bodies in Switzerland and France and many other countries have they done it. There are something which is actually treating and healing, but actually some unfortunate this is all about. Some people support it, some people won't, but that's fine. But there are many people who actually blessed and giving a blessing when they say the homeopathy treated me very well.
It's interesting.
And many mothers and parents comes and their suffering child is benefited by the homeopathy. So it's a great achievement.
It's interesting.
It's a great feeling when people say that they've been helped. It's
because sometimes you cannot be compared with everything with the to be honest with the medical evidence based. The reason is because sometimes you can't see few things with your normal eyes. Okay, and there is if you look at the powerful of the air, you can't see it but you can feel it. Is in the same way the homeopathy higher dilutions have a very energetic value into it. And quantum physics, if you look at through that way. So many homeopathy and still debate is good. And some it give us a task to carry on, continuous to prove it. And mostly if the general public feeling and getting the results healing, that's the main thing.
It's amazing. It's wonderful to see your knowledge, Jeremy. You've got a lot of knowledge.
But you know, we don't know everything. There's stuff we will never. We'll never. I think it'd be a bit of a sad world if we understood everything. Well, like I said before, I'm kind of a nuts and bolts kind of guy. If it works,
and that's why I feel lucky that the spudgeric therapy brings us a wonderful personality together.
Definitely.
And sharing each other. Otherwise, you are just praising your own. On your own, and that's why it's quite good actually. So it's amazing things to share each other, and I learned a lot of things, and the spudgeric probably he's introduced into his practice and sees the other side of the homeopathy, and it's advanced homeopathy, if I say in a different way. Okay, so it's quite good.
Jeremy basically covers all the Birmingham area, so if anyone does want to get in touch, ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਰਮੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਕਾਂਸ਼ੀ ਟੀਵੀ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਉੱਤੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰੈਫਰ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਜਰਮੀ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਨੂੰ. So Jeremy, I would like to say a big thank you for taking part in our today's episode, and thank you to you as well, Vinodji.
Thank you very much. It's our pleasure.
Well, thank you. It's been it's been fun.
It's wonderful knowledge.
And thank you for taking a part in this discussion, and it's encourage our viewer to look at the whole side of the homeopathy, and it's great. Thank you very much, and thank you to the Kanshi TV, and ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਹੌਸਲਾ ਵਧਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, and this is a very youngest talent, and she bring the very deep questions actually.
I suppose that's how we learn. And the more deeper the questions,
and because you are a science student, a pharmacy student, you would make a good
homeopath with these deep questions.
To be honest, I was touching on it a few episodes. I would love to learn as well. It's really interesting.
And she is doing the pharmacy. That's why you have a medical based questions.
Got the medical mindset
And
as
now-
well. So
Now you are interested in a homeopathy
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
So-
very good. Yeah, you should learn homeopathy, and
Yeah,
it will be a
definitely.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
to all.
thank you to everyone. ऐदा ही तुसी support करते रहना. ऐदा ही आपां guest थोड़े लिए लेके आएंगे. So thank you for watching Kanshi TV. मिलेंगे आपां हुन next episode विच.